Good morning, Skallywags. Shpoo here with another Mindless Drivel, and yes, I am going to go ahead and call it that because it is simply the ramblings of one nerdy guy, but I have to apologize right up front because, I know you're normally used to seeing me doing my goofy shtick, but that's not happening today. Today we're going to get serious, and I'm going to break my one and only rule. You see, when I set out to make this channel, I told myself right up front that the one thing I would never do. I would never cover politics. I would never cover religion because these topics are simply too controversial and passions rage on both sides of that coin, and it can be dangerous. So when I was sitting down to come up with a topic for today, I thought about the usual stuff that I think about. What can we talk about today? Talk about my thoughts about Cobra Kai season 3. What do I expect from season 4? That type of thing. But then I started thinking about the events of the last few days and everything that's happened since then. Everything that could potentially still happen over the next couple of weeks or what have you. And it scared the hell out of me. I never thought that I would see these things ever in my life. In some bad, cheesy action movie maybe, but certainly not in real life. And the more I sat and thought about it, and the more information came out, the more it dawned on me that there's no way that I could keep my mouth shut about this. I know I'm just one guy. I know that this is a small channel, and there's a handful of you that watch me every day, and I am so grateful for you doing that. Hopefully, I don't say anything that'll scare anyone away. That's certainly not what I want, but just I could not physically keep my mouth shut after what has happened over the last few days. As I am sure you are very well aware, on Wednesday, a group of people, who they are, unimportant. Of course, there's tons of speculation over, are they who they claim to be? Are they someone posing as someone else? And I'm not going to name names. As far as that group is concerned, I'm not naming names because it isn't important. What is important is that a group of people stormed the Capitol building. And as a result of this, multiple people are dead. Several more are hospitalized. And our country will never be the same again. Over the last few years, and sadly, it is since the last election that things really took off. I'm not saying that's when everything started. I'm saying that everything was already bad, and they went from bad to just, oh my God, levels of worse during the last election, the 2016 election. Since then, anti-immigration sentiment is up, way up. Sexism is up, way up. Racism is at higher levels than it was in the 1950s and 60s, and that is absolutely terrifying and absolutely mind-blowing and absolutely just downright depressing. Fast forward to the most recent election, and things have become even more divided than they already were, to levels that there's families fighting families. There's friends ceasing to be friends simply because they have a different opinion over something. And then all of this stuff happens, and I feel like we've been pushed to the brink. There are people that believe that Joe Biden stole the election. There are people that believe that President Trump told the people that were there to take action and, storm the Capitol building. There are people that believe that it was actually Black Lives Matters that were posing as Trump supporters that stormed the building. There's people that think that the entire thing was staged to distract us from something else that we weren't paying attention to, I guess. And there are even others, some of which I know personally, that think that the whole thing was completely justified. Honestly, I don't have a side. I dislike both sides. So I don't have a side or a horse in this game. So don't think that that's what's happening here. Because regardless of whatever horse you might have in this race, be it Democrat, Republican, Independent, undecided, it doesn't matter. Because what does matter is that there are several people dead and several more hospitalized. There was a cop on Capitol Hill who was beat to death with a fire extinguisher, all because of an election. People on social media are at each other's throats. just recently, just a couple of days ago, I posted something about the events of Wednesday being sad, and it started to go political in the comments. I sent a message to someone asking them to please not, post political stuff in there because I try to stay neutral. And while I admit that I was pretty angry when I wrote that message, wires got crossed somewhere, and the person felt attacked and instantly unfriended and blocked me on Facebook. And this is somebody that I've been friends with for 28 years, nearly 3 decades, out the window because of a misunderstanding over the most heated topic we've ever experienced in the history of heated topics. And speaking of social media, of course, everybody knows that Donald Trump has now been banned from Twitter and several others. And the statement that Twitter put out as far as why they banned him basically said that they felt that his posts were encouraging more potential violent acts. They used the example that during the attacks or after the attacks, he had referred to the people that had done that as patriots. And then the tweet that he put out that morning that he was banned said that the 75 million the 75 million patriots who had voted for him would not be disrespected under any way, shape, or form. And by the way, I won't be at the inauguration. They said that it looked like a threat, and to be perfectly honest with you, I can understand where they get that from. Again, I'm not saying that that's what I believe. I'm saying I understand why they would think that. And the reason is because their statement went on to say that that the planning for what happened Wednesday took place partially on Twitter, and that there were a new set of plans that were already taking place partially on Twitter for January 17th. Now, I don't know what's going on January 17th. I think that's a Sunday for that matter, so I don't know of anything happening that day, but apparently there's more plans happening for another attack. You realize that if this had been people from a different country that had done the exact same thing that these so-called patriots did, it would be considered terrorism and an act of war. There's nothing patriotic about that. Absolutely nothing. I'm getting off my point here. Let me be clear. I do not consider myself a Democrat or a Republican. I am not a Trump supporter. I'm not a Biden supporter. I literally, when it comes to voting, I take a look at the candidates. I take a look at, who are they? Where do they come from? What do they believe in? What kind of stuff have they done in the past that would make me believe one way or the other? Who has the best, ethical lifestyle or politics style or whatever you want to call it? And that is where I cast my vote. So I don't lean left, right, center. I just am. And I don't care about politics. I could care less about politics. What I do care about is people hurting other people because they have a different opinion than you. And when I say hurting people, I don't just mean physically. I mean mentally, emotionally. We're allowed to have different opinions. It's okay. That's what makes people people. That's like having two people that you work with. Two of your coworkers are up for a promotion, and the guy that you want to get it doesn't get it. So you go to Facebook and start attacking your friends and family because you're mad that this dude didn't get the job. Granted, your coworker doesn't make huge decisions for our entire country, but when you get down to the brass tacks of it, it's literally the same thing. A guy that you are familiar with is up for a job. That's an election. I don't follow the parties. I think that they are both flawed. I follow people. Good people. And as far as like the social media stuff is concerned, I don't have the time or the energy for it. I have enough problems in my life. I've lost way too many friends over the years for just stupid crap that I've done. But to lose a friend because they've got a different opinion than you is dumber than any of the dumb crap that I've done in the past. And I'm not sorry to say it. It's stupid. Now, I will admit, like I said, I don't follow Democrat or Republican. I don't fall under either of those categories. As far as Donald Trump is concerned, as far as the presidency goes, he's done some good stuff. As far as being a human being, not quite as good at that one. My personal opinion is if he would learn to just grow some tact and keep his mouth shut from time to time, he would have been a fantastic president. That's his only real big problem is tact or the lack thereof. And unfortunately, that lack of tact has driven some people to act out of line. And again, let me clarify. I am not saying that there's never been a Democrat or a Joe Biden supporter who's acted out. I'm not saying that. I'm giving my opinion of Donald Trump because he is the current president. And you know, I'm just now realizing I'm like defending all of these thoughts and opinions that I'm having off the top of my head here. Like I have a script and I'm not following it hardly at all. I'm defending myself on all of these things because I am scared of the backlash that I will get for having a thought or a feeling. That's insane. Because I could literally say nothing but just straight facts, robotic voice, everything, no emotion, no opinions, no anything, and there would still be people get angry at what I'm saying now. So let me get to my actual point. My point is, Democrat, Republican, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Joe Schmo, does not matter. You want to know what does matter? People. Other human beings, your fellow man. If you want to actually see what I'm talking about firsthand, all you have to do is go on Facebook. Look at the ratio of people that are posting about what happened on Capitol Hill, that are posting about the fact that Donald Trump's been banned from social media, talking about the election, versus posts about literally anything else. And then of these initial posts, look at the comments on them. And you will see exactly what I'm talking about. Anger, hatred, spite. That is what you will find in any of those posts. It could be, I wholeheartedly support Donald Trump. It could be, I'm so glad that Trump is getting out of office and he needs to be impeached and blah, 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 blah. Any of those. Look at the comments on them. And you will see the hate and the spite and the anger that I'm talking about. People are straight up going after each other right now, and I don't understand it. And the worst thing is that everyone of the angry people, at least, are pointing the finger at somebody. They're pointing blame at somebody. Oh, Trump's to blame. Oh, it's Antifa's to blame. Oh, this person's to blame. It's Black Lives Matters that's to blame. But you want to know the truth? You want to know who's actually to blame? The people that were actually involved. They are to blame. Period. Go onto social media and somebody posts anything, doesn't matter what it is, political or not. You go into the comments and you write some diatribe about, bashing them for believing what they believe in. Are they to blame for their original posts? Or are you to blame for starting stuff with them? The answer is you. But Shpoo, I'm entitled to my opinion too, just like they are. Sure, that's true. You are entitled to your opinions. But just because you are entitled to your opinion doesn't mean you have to intentionally find someone whose opinion is different than yours and start crap with them just because of it. Do you know who does stuff like that? They're called bullies. You ever been bullied? I hope not. What happened that got us to this point? This whole tribalistic mentality thing, it's got to stop. I mean, politics has always had its debates. And there's always been times where those debates have gotten heated, but it's never been this bad. And the worst thing is that the political debates, they're completely pointless. No one's going to win. I mean, when was the last time that you got into a conversation with somebody about the guy that you like versus the guy that they like, and then by the end of the conversation, that person was like, wow, you know what? You're right. I'm going to give up my entire belief system and go with your guy now. It's never happened, and it's never going to happen, because that's how politics work, and that is why I don't touch these topics. So if it's pointless to fight about, no one's going to win, and you're just going to end up angry or hurt, why start that fight to begin with? No matter what, you're going to lose. In one way or another, you're going to lose that fight. I'm begging you, stop. There is no point in splitting up friendships. There is no point in tearing families apart over an opinion. It's absolutely baffling to me why people are just lashing out at each other, people that they care about, supposedly, over this. I mean, I'll say it. The politicians, they're not wrecking this country. We are. The people are. And if the politicians are to blame for any of it, then take your little debate to them. Not by storming the Capitol building and hurting and or killing people, but with those lovely little words that you like to plaster all over Facebook and Twitter. take that fire and that passion and actually put it somewhere where it'll mean something and not just hurt someone. Who knows, maybe you'll get something good done. Stop tearing each other down and try lifting each other up for a change. You would be surprised how good that feels. And it's a lesson that all of us could learn and benefit from. You want to make America great again? You want to make it the best country in the world again? Then it's up to us. It's not up to the president. It's not up to the House of Representatives. It's not up to the Senate. It is up to us. You, me. Look around, because it's up to those people as well. Therefore, it is up to us to make that life worth living. And to do that right now, we have to put all of our little petty differences aside and actually come together. Quit tearing each other apart and let's bring everybody together for a change. Is that so hard? Is that so stupid of me to want that? Is it stupid of me to like wish for that to happen? To think that I want so badly to say, is it stupid of me to believe that that's a possibility? And yet, yeah, it really is. Because like it or not, this is just how it is. I mean, there's 15 things in my head that I could think to say right now, and none of them are good. But they're true. Would I love for it to happen? God, yes. But it won't. Or maybe I should say it won't, but it could. It would just take everybody making that decision that I want life to be better. I want America to be better. Stop criticizing people and stop tearing each other down for their beliefs. We're Americans. We're all playing for the same team here. And if everybody could just simply realize that, and it is that simple, just realize that, then everything would be fine. So it's probably stupid for me to think that it's possible, but I refuse to give up hope. Like I said, guys, I this is a one-time thing. I am so sorry for this. I tried to come up with a topic to talk about today, and it's all that I could think about was just everything that's happened in the last few days, and I just couldn't not do this video. I am sorry that it's so rambly. I am sorry that it's so ranty. I couldn't contain it within me. I promise that tomorrow we are right back to normal. We've got parts 3 and 4 of The Spies of Norway coming up for the series of enigmatic events. If you haven't seen that, definitely check that out. Got the conclusion of the Wes Craven version of A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 coming up on Wednesday. And Friday, we've got Frivolous Facts coming out. That was supposed to air this past Friday. Had some problems with the video there. So actually, to be perfectly honest with you, it was going to be a very similar version of this, but then I decided I wasn't going to go back and reshoot it because it was probably for the best, but then more stuff had to go and happen, so here we are. But yes, if you definitely, I would love it if you guys would subscribe. I don't expect that over this particular video because I don't normally do this type of content, but hey, if this video leads you to subscribing, then hey, all the better. But normally we're goofy, silly dad humor. So I love bad humor. But so yeah, definitely check us out. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those wonderful places. At least they used to be. They could be again. It's up to you. In the meantime, guys, just these are scary times that we live in. There's a very good chance that over the next few weeks, it's gonna get worse before it gets better. So if you do nothing else, just take care of yourself, take care of the people around you, take care of those people that you care about, and maybe try taking care of someone you don't even know. Like I said, you'll be surprised to find out just how fulfilling that can be. So that's that. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with me through this rambling rant of mine, and we'll see you tomorrow.